Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to another Hairy Masters cast. So let's get stuck into it and introduce the players. I don't know why, but the zoom seems like more zoom. It seems like even more zoom than usual. It seems like I'm almost looking at this base from outer space or something like that. But anyway, it is still pretty awesome, so we'll still be using it. Let's have a look up down the bottom right side of the map. It is Mr. Shofu, otherwise known as Major, otherwise known as Windy, and he's got so many different names, but here we will be calling him Shofu at the moment. He is 22 years of age, from Mexico, and not currently part of a team, although he was part of Rude Gaming up to January this year. And his opponent up the top left side of the map, we have seen him many times, quite a lot in the Hairy Bash and Hairy Smash games from last year, actually, which is pretty awesome. He is Mr. Arthur. He doesn't have his date of birth, unfortunately, so I can't tell you how old he is, but he is from South Korea, and he is currently teamless. Hasn't been in a team for almost a year now, so he's been running it solo for quite some time, and there we go. So he's going to be pushing out with a nice early expansion, whereas Shofu, down the bottom right side of the map, is going to go for an extremely fast starport. No tech labs, no reactors, so potentially some kind of Widow Mine drop action going to be happening here. Bunch of Marines moving out across the map to have some fun. Arthur does have one Stalker, getting another Stalker out here, pumping out a couple more gateways, getting that warp tech in there. So we'll see how he's going to be able to do. No detection anywhere in sight, so if a Widow Mine does get down, then it is going to have quite a lot of fun, and it's just going to be a case of how fast are the Stalkers going to be at taking out the Widow Mines when they start coming out. So we've got a dropship coming across, one Widow Mine and 3 Marines, so there's a total of 2 Widow Mines on the field, and the the command center starting to come out here, and we'll just have to see. Here we go, the Widow Mine being burrowed. Arthur realizes it. He's going to be just moving all his probes right back to the main base, and he just has to worry about defending against Widow Mines coming down here. Now, if the Widow Mine drops in this little corner, the Stalkers might have a bit of trouble trying to get it. Here he goes. He's going to be dropping them down. There we go. There's the Widow Mine. Stalkers having a go at it, not able to take it down in time. Widow Mine does get a shot off, does not kill all that many workers, but I don't know. There we go. Arthur does have a robotics facility up. Managed to start building that before, so he is in a better position than I thought he was. And there we go. There's the first observer coming down. The Widow Mine still has a little bit of time left. I don't think it's going to be able to get another shot off, but it might be a little bit close. No, it looks like Arthur is going to be okay there. A little bit of time left, but did work overall. Bunch of Marines on the low ground sniping a pylon just for the hell of it. Don't think Arthur's going down to take care of the other Widow Mine here. Maybe a mistake if those guys come down. There we go, the Widow Mine did manage to snipe a probe just before it died, and there we go, the Nexus overcharge taking care of those Marines. So Arthur definitely with everything under control here in terms of base defense, and Shofu is, so far he has been on the attack. Now he's going to have to think of something else. Ooh, bit of an interception here. The Stalker's almost getting it, but the dropship does a zig and a zag and manages to get out of there very nicely. And we do have a robotic support bay coming as well, so it looks like Colossus Tech is the name of the game for Arthur so far in this game. Shofu looks like he is going to be going for some Triple M here, getting the reactor down probably for the starport to start pumping out those medevacs 2 at a time. We've got a decent amount of workers for both players. Arthur's still in the lead despite losing a few to those bloody Widow Mines. If you have a look at the units lost, he's lost 3 so far, but he's still quite far in the lead. I suppose this is due to this very early Nexus. And despite the Widow Mine being down here, he was still able to produce workers constantly off that thing, which is very nice for him. So quite a bit of an economic advantage so far for Arthur. And Shofu, yeah, just sort of teching up with the Triple M, getting the starport onto the reactor. Is he going to be... No, he's just medevacs. I thought maybe he'd think about... Oh, another Widow Mine down there. The worker moving right next to it and does manage to sacrifice itself. And here we go. Stalkers having a little bit of trouble, actually, just throwing these Marines out of their base. The Marines do manage to kill a fairly decent amount of workers. 10 workers going down there. So that is Shofu getting himself back into the game. He is now only 4 workers behind as opposed to the 10 that he was before. Where is the observer gone? Please don't... I think a scan went down and Shofu managed to destroy the observer. Ow! Those guys were waiting, but they maybe shouldn't have been waiting right there because that guy did go down in a very, very bad way. This medevac so close to being dead. The Marines, yeah, you'd love to drop them off in here, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. Little probe actually going in there, dropping off a proxy pylon, and now just waiting in the corner. Just going to start scouting when the probe sees an extractor being put down or whatever it is. Then he's going to start to think, all right, they are actually going out to this base. There we go. They are going to be dropping it down. The medevac goes down with a very, very decent amount of Marines in there. And we've got a bunch of Marines coming down. They're thinking about it. 2 Colossus already out for Arthur. So he's definitely doing a very, very good job of getting those high-tech units out. And the Marines are just going to be running the hell out of there because there's no way that they were going to survive. Leaving 1 Marine behind just for a bit of a scout, but that Marine dies pretty much straight away. We got some drops coming out again. Are they going to be able to do anything? We don't have too many troops back here, but the Mothership Core was sort of moving back, and the Mothership Core can just sort of drift over there. Nexus overcharge, and against Marines should be extremely good at defending that. We've actually got a main attack. Arthur thinking about moving out, but Major does not want Arthur to move out across the map. He wants him to stay back and stay defending. Where is the Mothership Core? We need a Nexus overcharge right the hell now. And no, not really seeing it. Not seeing it at all. Maybe the Mothership Core was out with the main army. But here we go. The Nexus actually taking a serious amount of hits. Those Marauders doing a very nice job, but the Colossus show up to save the day. 1 medevac goes down. The other medevac is empty. So the entire army was destroyed. But how many workers have been killed so far? That's a very, very decent amount of workers. And Shofu, man, he has not lost a single worker all game because he hasn't been attacked all game. He's been keeping the pressure on Arthur's base, and Arthur, I mean, we saw him trying to move out with those Colossus and it just didn't work. He just had to fall back to defend his base, so it's just not working out. Well, I don't know. I mean, Arthur's doing a great job at defending, a really, really great job, but at the same time, I mean, Shofu has had this base out there. Arthur is just getting this base down. He's lost a ton of workers. He's still ahead by 2 now, but yeah, he's had a lot of trouble trying to keep that lead because he's just lost so many workers. He really, really wants to turn into an economic powerhouse, but he just can't because he keeps losing so many workers, and Major keeps pressuring him so much. So good job to Major for managing to do that so far, to keep Arthur from turning into just an absolutely crazy bastard. Just economy all over the place. Think about it. If he hadn't lost those 22 workers, he'd be up to like 70 now, and he would be absolutely demolishing Major with that economy. Absolutely owning everything. Here we go. Main army out here covering the 3rd base, but the rocks are going down. And they're actually, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're suddenly deciding they don't want to hit the rocks anymore. We've got a 2-prong attack. Arthur going over the heavier force, I think. And these guys are running away. But the rocks are down. Major choosing to back off. Not quite going yet. Maybe he's going to heal up a bit or something before stimming in there trying to snipe some workers. But there is another force up here ready to take them. And yeah, I guess Major's still in control of this game. I don't know if I see he's in control of the game. He's definitely in control of the map. But Arthur does seem pretty comfortable in his defensive position. I don't feel like he's kind of turtling, like he's kind of just falling back, and he's like, oh my god, I want to attack so badly, but I can't because Shofu is constantly hitting me. I feel like maybe alright, maybe he is kind of getting to that position where he just can't move out. So yeah, it is starting to look like that. It's starting to look like Arthur is getting frustrated in this game. I'm not sure that he was getting frustrated. I thought that he was just sort of sitting back, you know, playing the nice defense game, but still pretty confident. But now I've got the feeling that he's starting to get frustrated, and it was probably right about the point that the Nexus went down. And he's like, maybe I'm not in control of this defense as well as I thought. And with that base going down, shofu is starting to take a major lead in terms of the economy. He's getting all this stuff coming in. Arthur, how many workers did he have? 66. It's very, very hard to fully mine with 2 bases with 66 workers. You can do it, but yeah, it's a little bit dodgy. So he definitely needs to get that 3rd base up and going. Until he does, his economy is going to be a little bit lower than it could be, which is definitely not good. Here we go, the probe actually scouting out these 3. That is a beautiful, beautiful move by Arthur. And shofu's going to have to move off in a different direction to try and get around that army. So maybe going to be dropping down here. This one looks like it's not too unopen, but the observer is going to be scouting that approach. Got another observer on the other side, so very, very good observer placement. The base is back up again, so Arthur going to start getting that mad macro once again. But shofu nearly maxed out on his army. He's got a ton of Vikings. He's got a ton of Triple M. He's only got 1-1, but then again, Arthur only has 1-1. So both players not pushing the upgrades as extremely fast as they could. 2-2 getting closer though, and 2-2 getting closer for Arthur. Here we go, there's a nice drop coming in. Not too much that can really hit them, but going to force Arthur to move back. He's not going to lose too much though, maybe 1 or 2 goways, and the main army coming in here. And there we go, the Colossus taking so much damage. How many upgrades does he have on the vehicle? None. No upgrades so far, but still doing a ton of damage. These Vikings really, really going in there. They're not too worried about the Stalker numbers getting out there and challenging them, and do manage to do a ton of damage. And here we've got a lot of forces down the bottom side. Nothing that Arthur can really do about those for the moment. Does manage to clear up all the ground forces, but does manage to lose all of his Colossus. So it's very, very bad for both players, I guess. Shofu lost a ton of units. Arthur lost all of his high-tech units. So it's kind of a reset there. Maybe Shofu was hoping to just absolutely demolish everything, but I think that level 2 weapons came out just in time for Arthur, and the Colossus suddenly like, yes, we got level 2 weapons, let's own everything. And they really, really did own everything there. But with all of the Colossus dying, I'm really, really not sure if Arthur is going to be able to survive a second assault from the Triple M. Here we go. Looks like we're going to get a landing here. And going to be destroying a ton of workers. Absolute ton here. We're up to 33 workers lost so far. The Vikings are actually going to be dying here. Not sure why shofu isn't trying to save him. He's just pulling away here. Oh my god, he's sniping the robotics facility. That is a genius move right there. Absolute genius move from shofu. He had a perfect distraction over here, sacked a few of his Vikings, but managed to snipe the robotics facility. Arthur did not have a second one, and right now, my respect for shofu just went very, very high. I've watched Arthur in a lot of games, and I generally thought, yeah, Arthur, man, he's really, really awesome. But Major, man, that move by Major is absolute genius, sniping the robotics facility. And now he's close to getting maxed out. He's got some ghosts, getting ready to see if there are High Templar there, and there is a possibility of High Templar, but I don't think he's built. He's built 5 of them so far, so that's not too bad. So if the ghosts do their job, then shofu, man, he is going to be looking very, very good in this game, because doesn't have to deal with Colossus. The robotics bay is down, but there we go. There's the first Colossus coming out. It doesn't really have to deal with him so far. It's just got 1 Colossus out on the field and another one on the way. We've got not that many Vikings, actually. He sacked all of his Vikings, so that 1 Colossus may be able to do quite a bit of stuff here. And there we go. It's the main Triple M army coming on out. Bunch of ghosts. He is building a couple of Vikings, which is nice. But moving out, getting that 5th base, which is Major, man. Just doing a very, very nice job on the bases. Arthur so far struggling to hold on to his bases. And Arthur actually going out for a preemptive attack. I thought it was for sure that shofu was going to go out and hit again, and Arthur was going to stay defensive. But Arthur is moving out. He's got a crap ton of Zealots. And the Zealots so far doing a pretty decent job. Will it be enough though? I'm not sure. This Colossus is somehow staying alive, and they might actually be able to get in there and do something, but no, Arthur is going to be falling back. He does have some Archons. The Archons, I don't know how much of a difference they're going to make. They've managed to get the snipe in, but the second Colossus is over here. Force Field's going to be trapping some of these units, and Arthur, a somewhat desperate counterattack here to try and get himself back in the game. Losing all those Colossus was definitely a blow, but he definitely wants to make something happen, but I feel like it's the very edge of getting his army destroyed here is where Arthur is. He's on the very, very edge. Maybe a second Colossus or a third Colossus will allow him to get in a good position in this game, but for now, I feel like he's very, very close to just not being able to do anything here, but he's trying his absolute hardest. Is there another Colossus? There is another Colossus coming up. That might be the edge that he needs to push in and destroy this base. We'll just have to see. Some Viking waves are starting to come out here, and the Stalkers, are the Stalkers going to be taking care of them? Sort of, kind of, yes. One Colossus took a lot of hits, but the Vikings are starting to come down, and there we go. Some beautiful storms going down, forcing this army to run, but the High Templar numbers, I feel like Shofu was doing a fairly good job of taking care of those High Templar with his ghosts. We'll just have to see. So far, nobody really taking an advantage in this sort of invasion here. I mean, Arthur is getting a fourth base down there, which is very, very nice. What the hell are these guys doing? Couple of Marines, nobody really cares. And Arthur's pushing slowly. He's slowly getting in there. Another nice storm, but he's falling back. He's being very, very careful. There we go, the third Colossus showing up. Is this going to be the trigger point for Arthur to really get in there and really start taking some stuff out? Missile turrets, another beautiful move by Shofu to counter the Colossus. And now we've got this great little group of Marauders moving in. They sniped to the fourth base, and they almost got to that expansion, but at the last second, not quite. And the Colossus just turn around and go straight back to harassing this base. So far, they haven't really put a scratch on the command center, but they really, really, really want to. Here we got a nice little drop going off here. Some Marauders and Marines. Actually, yes, looks like they are going to be dropping some stuff off. There we go. We've actually got some damage on the command center. Arthur pushing harder and harder and harder, and finally is going to be able to make himself heard right here, taking out the command center. I believe that's the first command center that Shofu has lost the entire game, but that was a very, very hard push for Arthur, and very, very tough to make that work. Look at these Marauders though. Just as Arthur thinks he's getting some action in this game, Marauders come in, shut down almost all of his gateways, and that is very, very, very harsh. He's continuing to push though. Arthur feels like he's got some momentum. I'm not sure I would agree with him. He's got a little bit of momentum, but there's way too much red in this army, and I feel like he's going to be falling very, very soon. And what does that leave Arthur with in this game? I'm really, really not sure. These guys are going to go down. There's no way these guys are going to survive, although they are getting some nice storms off. And if he does manage to take out this army, he could potentially do stuff. There we go. That's another beautiful storm. It's going to allow him to take out some stuff. Meanwhile, this force over here, taking out a fair amount of stuff, but they're sort of just dilly-dallying around a bit. Not sure what they're trying to destroy. I think they're going for workers, but who knows? Who knows at this point? Yeah, they did kill a lot of workers though, down 28, but Shofu has lost a decent amount of workers as well. It looks like his army is finally going down, finally getting taken out, and these guys coming in for reinforcements are going to try and run off, but they are going to get knocked back by these guys. A very nice storm. He's going to take out quite a few of them, but it's just degenerated to minor skirmishes everywhere, and I'm not sure if we've got a clear winner here. I mean, in terms of economy, Major is definitely the clear winner here. He's got that fourth base. The fourth base still going strong, and that is definitely not good for Mr. Arthur. Look at this thing just going absolutely nuts there. Look at the income, absolutely crazy here. And Arthur's got this base. He's still got sort of a decent amount of minerals, but he's definitely going to be suffering on that. And he still really, really wants to get in here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Shofu has the economy. He's translating that economy into a whole bunch of Triple M, and I think that he's just going to out-army Arthur. He's just going to have too many forces. He's just going to own everything. And oh, a beautiful storm here. Shofu split his army up very, very quickly, but for a second the entire army was almost within range of one storm. There they go, and he's just, I don't know, man. Shofu very, very scared of getting in range of one of those storms, and he definitely should be, but the storms are almost running out. I think there's one more storm in this army, and that is it. That's it. Storm's all gone. Shofu realizing it, moving his entire army down the field. There is another High Templar coming out. Not quite enough energy for a storm yet, unfortunately, but he's getting very, very close. 75 energy is what they are waiting for. And EMP are trying to get the High Templar, didn't quite get it. And now moving in. There's the energy, there's the energy. And now Arthur turns around. Are we going to see the storm? No, I think that guy got sniped. I think the High Templar got sniped. There's another High Templar. It just arrived, which has almost got the energy. But the Archons, suddenly the Archons are completely destroying everything, man. Those Archons doing a really good job. Almost destroying everything. They got very, very close to the point. Look at them. None of them have any shields at all. They all get taken out. And Arthur gives the GG right there. So he was still fighting as hard as he could right up to the very last second in this game. But in the end, no, it just didn't happen. And I think that economy for Shofu just really kept him going the entire game. Right from the start, he was knocking back Arthur's economy and really, really getting out with his own, taking control of the map. And Arthur never really sort of got map control back. He tried to do some stuff, but yeah, I think in the end, this base definitely won Major the game, this base right here. If you hadn't had this base, or if Arthur had gone in and destroyed it, then I think that Shofu, it would have been a lot closer game at the end. It would have been a lot more, I don't know who's going to win, but that base definitely carried Shofu through to the finish. So thank you very much for watching this game. I do hope you enjoyed it. And these games, I'm actually got the Season 1 replay pack. I probably should have looked for it earlier, but I've got it now. And I have found a bunch of long games. Actually, no, what am I saying? This isn't Season 1. This is an old game, because I looked at the Season 1 replay pack, and I looked at all the long games, and they all had Zergs in them. I'm like, ah. So it's probably all going to be a Swarm Host Fest. So I'm going to see what I can come up with. Maybe I'll find some decently long PvTs in there. Because I don't want to cast Zerg games all the time. I want a decent amount of PvTs in there. So we'll see how we do with Season 1. But I will catch you guys later, next week to be exact. So see you guys then.